convolution with 1 by pi t. Right. So this you know already. You can either use this formula. This is the first formula, or you can even use the convolutional integral formula, that is g cap of t is equal to integral minus infinity to plus infinity g of tau divided by pi into t minus tau d tau. This is the second equation which you can use, or the third method is finding the Fourier transform. Okay, so if for g of t, if the Fourier transform of g of t is g of f, and Fourier transform of h of t is h of f, or you know specifically what should be your h of t. H of t should be 1 by pi t, because only this function is providing you 90 degrees phase shift. Okay, so h of t will be equal to 1 by pi t. For this, the Fourier transform, so this is Fourier transform. Okay, whenever I write the signal in terms of g of f, it means that I have applied Fourier transform for that signal. Okay, for this it will be h of f, which will be equal to, always this function is fixed. Okay, so this will be equal to minus j signum of f. Okay, so what we'll do to get Hilbert transform, what we'll do, g cap of f will be equal to g of f multiplied with, all of you can note down this, all g of f multiplied with h of f, which is equal to g of f multiplied with minus j signum of f. Okay, so this will give me g cap of f, but I don't know g cap of f, but what I need, I want g cap of t. Okay, so to get g cap of t, what I need to do, I need to apply inverse Fourier transform. Okay, so g cap of f I have, so if I apply inverse Fourier transform, it will be g cap of t. Okay, so g cap of t is nothing but inverse Fourier transform of this function g of f into minus j signum of f, SGN. Okay, it is SGN, signum of f. Okay, so we need to find the inverse Fourier transform of this. This is the first method. This is the second method. First method, second method, third method. In the third method, first you need to take the Fourier transform of g of t given signal. Okay, that signal should be multiplied with minus j signum of f, and then finally apply inverse Fourier transform, so that you'll get the g cap of t. Okay, so this is how we generally find the Hilbert transform of any signal. Okay, so have you all written this?
I'm taking, ma'am.
Okay. Write it. Then we'll go with the problems. Mostly we'll be applying the third method and the first method. First method, not specifically the first method, will directly phase shift the signal given. Okay, so have you all finished writing?
No, ma'am. 1 second.
Okay. Write it. Write it quickly. Okay. And one more thing is, if you want to find the Hilbert transform, then the signal whatever is given, it should be Fourier transformable. Okay, so it indirectly means that even this signal should support or satisfy your Dirichlet's conditions. Hope it's over, right? Shall I start the problem? Shall I start the problem, ma?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So the first problem, note on the first problem. Find the Hilbert transform of x of t. Hilbert transform generally you can just write as h dot t. H dot t indicates Hilbert transform. Okay, Hilbert transform of x of t. Hilbert transform of x of t, where x of t is equal to cos 2 pi fct. Okay, this is a given signal. Okay, so for this you need to find the Hilbert transform. Okay, so let us go with the frequency domain method. Okay, frequency domain method. See, whatever frequency domain method is nothing but your Fourier transform method. Okay, so what you have to do here, what are the steps you have? First, x of t should be converted to x of f. In the sense, like x of t is nothing but cos 2 pi fct. You need to find its Fourier transform. So what is the Fourier transform of cos 2 pi fct? Can anyone tell me? Cos 2 pi fct. What is the Fourier transform of this? Anybody remembers?
Plus
Tell me, ma.
1 by 2 delta of f minus fc.
1 by 2 delta of f minus fc plus
delta of f plus
f plus fc. Okay, so this is what the Fourier transform of this cos 2 pi fct, and this signal should get multiplied with h of like h of f. Okay, h of t is nothing but h of f. What is your h of f? H of f is equal to, it is fixed, right? 1 by pi t. 1 by pi t is Fourier transform. H of t is nothing but, see, these two are relevant and these two are relevant. 1 by pi t. H of t is nothing but 1 by pi t. That should get multiplied with what is it? Minus j signum of f. Right? Okay, so now what I need to do? First I need to get x cap of t. X cap of f. X cap of f. One second. You know that x cap of t is nothing but x of t convolution with 1 by pi t, which is nothing but cos 2 pi fct, which is nothing but cos 2 pi fct convolution with 1 by pi t. Okay, so multiplication in time domain, it will lead to convolution in the time domain, it will lead to multiplication in the frequency domain. So x cap of t. Now I am considering the Fourier transform. So x cap of t, x cap of f, that will be equal to, what I need to do? I need to multiply the Fourier transform of x of f into h of f. What is the Fourier transform of x of f? So this is x. Okay, x of f, it is nothing but 1 by 2 delta of f minus fc plus delta of f plus fc into minus j signum of f. Okay, so let me write this. So this is finally your x cap of f. Okay, so let us do the further simplification here. further simplification here. Okay, so how will be a signum function? Signum function is generally written as signum is equal to -1 for f greater than 0 is equal to 0 for f is equal to 0 and is equal to +1 for f greater than 0 -1 for f less than 0. Okay, so how will be a function? Your function will be in this way. +1, this is my signum function. Signum function, it will be equal to +1 for f greater than 0 and -1 for f less than 0. Okay, so now what is happening? This function is getting multiplied with j. Okay, fine. So I'll directly write -j signum of f. Okay, wait. Okay, -j. If I multiply this with -j, what happens? The signal will become like this, right? It will be -j for f greater than 0 and it will be +j for f greater than 0. This complete thing is nothing but -j signum of f, right? Any doubts you have until here? Anybody have any doubts? See, this complete thing I have done here. So this is a signum function. See, this complete thing I have done here. Signum function, and that is multiplied with -j. So my signal will become like this, right? Any doubt with this signal representation? Anybody have doubt here?
No, ma'am.
Is it clear? Okay,
No,
fine.
ma'am.
Okay, fine. So now what I have to do? This signal should get multiplied with what? How will you represent this x of f? X of f is nothing but 1 by half delta of f minus fc plus delta of f plus fc, right? So if you want to represent its spectrum, you will have an impulse function. Delta is nothing but the impulse function, right? So you will have an impulse function at minus fc and you will have a delta function at plus fc, okay, with the amplitude equal to half. Okay, so this is what your delta function. Now what you need to do, you need to multiply this function with this function. It's very important for your exam point of view also, properties of Hilbert transform. Okay, so here if you observe, I have written the date and the year, okay, when this question is given. Okay, so let us learn the properties. So if you I have, when I was solving the problems, few properties I've already dealt with. Okay, now let us see the other properties. So Hilbert transform can be applied to any signals that are Fourier transformable. Okay, so I have already mentioned this property. So whichever signal you will be able to find the Fourier transform. For all those signals you can easily find Hilbert transform. Okay, and as I've already mentioned, Fourier transform Hilbert transform x of t and x cap of t both will be in the time domain only. It will not change its domain like Fourier transform. Okay, and the other one is x of t and x cap of t are totally different. As you have seen already, cos 2 pi fct, we have got sin 2 pi fct. Both the signals are totally different, right? So both are not same. Okay, they are entirely different. Okay, so in the exam you have to write all the properties, and most importantly, see whatever star I have put, all those properties are very important with proof. Okay, few proofs like which are required and which they'll ask in the exam, all those proofs I've already derived. Okay, let us see those proofs also along with the properties. Okay, so the fourth property is, like, as you know, Hilbert transform is nothing but it will phase shift by 90 degrees. Okay, and then comes the fifth property. Fifth property is nothing but he is saying how to calculate Hilbert transform. So how will you calculate the Hilbert transform? Let us just recall. In the last class we have seen how to find the Hilbert transform. So the same property is given here also. See, the fifth property says to get Hilbert transform, positive spectrum f cap of f greater than 0 of x of t should be multiplied by minus j, and negative spectrum of x of t should be multiplied by plus j. That's how we were calculating. Like, I'll just show you once again. So x of t is equal to x of t we were writing as x cap of t, right? X cap of t. Now, in order to find the Hilbert transform, what we can do is we can just write as x of f, which is if the Fourier transform of x of t is x of t is x of f, and if the Fourier transform of x cap of t is x cap of f, then we can write x cap of f as, or wait, x of t, we were writing x of t is equal to x cap of t is equal to x cap of t is equal to x of t convolution with h of t, right? Where h of t is nothing but, what is h of t? Can anybody tell me?
1 by pi t.
Yes, 1 by pi t. Okay, so instead of directly finding the convolution, we can use the frequency domain properties. If for x cap of t, if the Fourier transform is x cap of f, then in the frequency domain, x cap of f is equal to x cap of t convolution with 1 by pi t, we can write as x of f multiplication with the Fourier transform of 1 by pi t is minus j signum of f. Okay, signum of f is nothing but h of f. Okay, so here what we can do, we can write this as minus j into x of f into signum of f. But we already know what is signum of f. How will be the function signum of f? Signum of f is equal to of f I have not written, signum you say that I am in class, is equal to 1 for f greater than 0 and is equal to 0 for f less than, f is equal to 0 and is equal to minus 1 for f less than 0. Okay, so from that we can write this as minus j x of f, signum of f for f greater than 0, it is 1, right? So 1 into minus j f of x of f, this is for x f greater than 0. And anyway, for f is equal to 0, it will be 0, and for f less than 0, it will be minus 1 into minus j, it will be plus j. So this will be equal to j into x of f. This is for f less than 0. This is how you find your x cap of f. Okay, x cap of f. Okay, the same thing here he is explaining in terms of property. Okay, he is saying that for the positive spectrum of x of t, spectrum is nothing but Fourier transform. Okay, so x of t should be multiplied by minus j. So if you observe here, it is the same thing, minus j into x of f. X of f is nothing but the Fourier transform or Fourier spectrum of x of t, that is multiplied with minus j for f greater than 0, and and negative spectrum, that is f less than 0 of x of t, should be multiplied by plus j. Okay, so that is what is represented in terms of equation here. And after finding this, we don't need x cap of f, but what we need x cap of t. So x cap of t can be obtained by taking minus infinity to plus infinity x cap of f into e power j 2 pi ft. It means that we need to take inverse Fourier transform. Okay, the integration should be with respect to df. Okay, so this is the this is how we find the Hilbert transform. Okay, so the same thing he has given here in terms of statements. Okay, to find for Hilbert transform, positive spectrum f greater than 0 of x of t should be multiplied by minus j, and minus negative spectrum f less than 0 of x of t should be multiplied by plus j. It gives x cap of f. Okay, so see, it has given us x cap of f. Now what you need to do? it gives x cap of f, and then take inverse Fourier transform of x cap of f to get x cap of t. Okay, it's not x of t, it is x cap of, where is that, x cap of t. Okay, x cap of t. So that we'll get the Hilbert transform. Okay, so this is a fifth property. For that proof is not required. And coming to the next one, signal x of t and x cap of t have the same magnitude spectrum. Okay, so we have already proved that in this. See here, mod x cap of f is equal to mod x of f. Okay, or I'll just prove it again. Let me take the new page. Okay, let us go with the next property. What is that? The magnitude spectrum of x cap of t is same as x of t. That is what it means. So you once again, you already know x cap of t. Its Hilbert transform is x cap of t. Okay, we'll write x cap of t is nothing but, this is a constant equation throughout. So x of t convolution with h of t, or x of t convolution with h of t is nothing but 1 by pi t. Okay, so here how we will find x cap of f? X cap of f is equal to x of f multiplication with minus j sine, signum of f. Okay, and x of t, its Fourier transform is x, and we know that x of t, the Fourier transform is x of f. Fourier transform is x of f. So mod x of f is the magnitude of this x of t. Okay, I'll just partition it. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so here we need to find what is x cap of f. Okay, let me erase. There are unnecessary lines which are drawn. Okay, fine. So we need to find the magnitude of x cap of f. So how will you find the magnitude of x cap of f? Mod x of f, x cap of f is equal to mod x of f into minus j signum of f mod. Okay, so I can just split the mod separately. I can write mod x of f, mod minus j, all of you note it down, mod signum of f. Okay, so let me write it. So this is equal to mod x of f. What will be the mod minus j? A plus jb. How will you find mod of that? Root of a square plus b square, right? So here in place of a you don't have anything, so it is 0. So under root of 0 square plus, in place of b you have minus 1, so minus 1 whole square. This is for mod j, and signum function.